What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy holidays. We just came off of Thanksgiving, and I figured I'd just pop on live because your boy's on vacation and I have some time to spare. So, just going live just to talk to you guys, chat with you guys, give you guys a little bit of an update of things that are going on for the channel. Some of the things that I've been working on, not only just doing some reviews, but I'm actually also messing around with some of the pieces in my watch collection. Specifically, my Seiko SKX. Megazoid is in the building, bro. I don't know how you catch the lives all the time, man. I appreciate you. You must have this on high alert. Happy holidays, Mega. I don't know if you celebrate Thanksgiving. We have Christmas upon us. So there are some things that we need to talk about because we have Black Friday deals and there's a lot of stuff. So the watch market in the last month prior, I want to say things were kind of slowing down. And I know this because I get feedback from the reviews that I do for the people that send me watches and everything else. And I have my finger on the pulse if whether or not people are selling watches, how that is going for them. And what I've been hearing, what I've heard through the grapevine is people are buying less watches about a month ago, but because we have the holidays coming up, Black Friday sales and everything else, we may see a surge in purchases of watches. We may see a lot of things, and then there's a lot of deals going on. I've got a lot of emails from Erebus. If you guys don't know, I want to shout out Noctua because they're actually running a Black Friday sale as well. You guys saw the review that I did on it. Now that's a new independent brand, so they're gonna be something that you're not probably recognizing off the bat, but I did release a full in-depth review for their watches. So if it's new to you and you want to check out their sales that they have going on, if you're on Watch Crunch, go on to the post that I did recently for their Black Friday sales. So they have one. I saw one from Erebus. I saw Mark from Island Watch. He was doing a Black Friday deal with some of his watches. So opportunities are there if you were holding off on pulling the trigger on a couple of pieces to add to the collection. For me, I'm pretty much done adding everything that I'm going to add to my collection, which is, all right, so it's a little different for me, obviously, right? So I'm a watch reviewer. Sometimes I get gifts. So I do have watches coming in for review that are meant to be kept, if you will. So technically, I have watches still coming in that we're gonna do reviews on that I'm super excited for. One of which is on my wrist, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But I want to give a chance for people to come on in and settle down because this live was random, but that's how we do it. Sometimes I randomly want to just connect with you guys and see what you guys are up to. I don't have a set agenda for this live. I just wanted to chit chat with you guys if you had the time to come in. Let me shout out Mega, of course, not a watch snob, bro. What's going on, baby? Yo, I saw you. We officially met at the wind up fair. You're an absolute gentleman. Shout out to Lone Ranger. Shout out to what's his name? Shout out to what? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. Hold on. What? Not a watch snob. What was the other gentleman? I'm so sorry, man. Ripsaw Joe. How can I forget Ripsaw Joe? Bad boy. Ripsaw Joe. You guys were all gentlemen. I'm sorry that I couldn't give you guys a lot of attention. I was like a kid in the candy shop. I was trying to absorb what was going on in the New York Wind-Up Fair. I was trying to get as much content as I could, but you guys are absolute gentlemen. Matter of fact, Ripsaw Joe hit me up and wished me a Thanksgiving. So I really do appreciate that. Not a watch snob. The wife loved you, man. The wife found you very, very funny, bro. And I always loved your content. So it was a pleasure to meet you in RL and connect with you as much as we could. Hopefully we can do something in the future and we can meet up for a little bit longer. But Not a Watch Snob is in the building. Eric is in the building. Hey, how are you? Wistful Ignorance, another veteran to the channel support, man. If you guys don't know, he has his own channel as well, as long as with Not a Watch Snob. Now, I haven't shout out Not a Watch Snob too much. Not a Watch Snob, check his channel out. He is pivoting, I would say, to a really cool aspect in his channel. He's actually covering watches that I've never even heard of. Specifically, his last video, I believe it was on a specific watch, very vintage, very interesting pieces, and I love that. I'm okay with as many people who want to come up here on here and create a channel and talk about watches and explore the niche that we have. The more the merrier, right? It's volume. But at the end of the day, separating yourself is very important, and not a watch snob. If you haven't checked out his channel before, he's actually capturing a lot of like vintage inspired stuff. So very interesting, and I absolutely enjoy his channel. So check it out. Also, Wristful Ignorance, brand new YouTuber, baby. Hitting the ground running. Check out his channel as well. Phoenix is in the building. Hey, give me something random for a short and I will upload it. All right, no problem. I'll give you something random. Let's do a wristwatch check for your random short. So I'm actually gonna flip the camera around. Let me take it off wrist, and I'm super excited about this timepiece because this represents a collaboration that, in my own opinion, represents the hard work that it is to do YouTube and do edits and make connections and make relationships. So this one is from Venanico. This is the Nerede Areo. Guys, I'll be honest with you, this timepiece right here is an absolute high-end piece for me. This for me is like a Tudor. This for me is like a Rolex. I know that's kind of outlandish to say, but the quality, the craftsmanship, and all of the specifications that you're getting in this watch, for me, is an actual luxury piece. You're getting a gold-plated dial, you're getting a tungsten bezel, you're getting a Swiss-made movement, you're getting 200 meters of water resistance. I mean, what else can a man want out of a watch? And for me, this is in fact a actual Rolex. And I'll be very transparent with you guys. So Venanico, I actually got a watch of theirs as a gift from the wife, and I've loved them ever since. I've seen them at the show twice. They're fantastic people, but even more so, they make fantastic watches. So I was eager to start a relationship with them. And even, just so you guys know, right? It's all about relationship building when you're having a channel and you're trying to make connection, because without watches, you don't have the content, right? Just so you guys know, I got a gift from theirs for their watch from my wife. I made a review video. I saw them at the watch fair. I featured them in the wind-up fair that I did a video on. So I put some elbow grease into establishing a relationship, and I wanted to have a relationship with them because I love their timepieces. I love what they're doing with their dials, and they are worth the time when it comes to customer service, when it comes to a company as a whole. They're just doing it all right. And for me, on an independent brand, it's much more than a watch. If you make a fantastic watch, God bless. But if you have a company structure that makes you feel or makes the customer feel like they're really accepted, and you have great customer service and you present your watches, right? That's a thing too. Trap Vision 3D, there's a lot of watch battles, and it's all about your presentation of a watch. That's a thing. So it's not enough to just make a fantastic watch, because from what we're seeing from manufacturers of watches as a whole, we're seeing a lot of great things. We're seeing the minimum bar of entry for any kind of watch, whether it be a Chinese brand, whether it be an independent brand, whether it be a high-end brand. The manufacturing is fantastic at this point. Very rarely will we come across a lot of defects and everything else. So what separates a company more so is going to be how they connect to a community, is going to be how they present their watches, and in the independent space, in my opinion, is going to be on how do you separate yourself as a brand? How do the consumers look at the watches and say, hey, I know what company that is, before they even see which brand logo is on the watch. And I think that Venanico does a fantastic job of doing that, focusing more so on their dials for separation, but also excelling in finishing, excelling in quality of watch, what they're putting inside their watches. And when they first started off, they started off more with NH movements, which you guys know already. I have no problem with Japanese Seiko movements. They're fantastic. However, if you want to cover the broad range of collectors, and I know this because it's happening with myself, I have NH movements already, right? There's a lot of specification fatigued with it, even though I know it's a fantastic movement. When I'm ready to graduate or I'm ready to experience something different, I'm looking for different movements. So we're talking about Miyotas, we're talking about SW movements, we're talking about Siegel movements even, right? Collectors are looking for something in their collection that they can separate from what they already have, not just language design, but also specifications. And they were able to do that. So this is my first Swiss-made movement. I think that it's an actual, and it's a home run, right? When it comes to everything else, the language design, the dial being a tumbled finish, the dial being gold plated, it having a tungsten bezel insert, Swiss-made movement. The bracelet is not your typical bracelet as well. Now, we don't have diver extension. It does have 200 meters of water resistance, so if I ever dare to dive into the water with it, I'm all right. But it does have micro adjustments, right? So that's a thing as well. And I just ordered half links, right? I have the Venanico Rendendore Aventurina. The only problem with the butterfly clasp is that, in my own opinion, if you're gonna do a butterfly clasp, you have to have half links. Now, they sell half links after the fact, which I purchased because I feel like it's necessary if you want the perfect fit for your watch. But if it's not already incorporated, I think it should be, because if you're deciding to do a butterfly clasp, it almost needs it not having those micro adjustments on there. No diver extension on this. That's okay. I'm okay. I always got a tool set on me. I don't know if you guys are like me, super watch nerd. I keep this in the car. I have one for where I modified watches, and I keep one with me in the car because once somebody finds out that you're into watches as much as you guys are, they're like, if I see a bracelet on somebody and it's really loose, I'm like, do you like wearing the bracelet? If it's okay if you do, but if you don't like the fact that your bracelet isn't so loose, I can adjust that for you, right? And I always have the tools on deck. Let me catch up the chat. Hold on one second. Where was I? Hold on one second. Give me a random short. Phoenix, if you stay in here, by the way, I know I read that. If you stay in here long enough, you're going to get a nice short regardless. But I would appreciate if you capture the Venanico watch that I'm have on wrist. And this for me, guys, oh man, this is the gold medal, pun intended. It's just the hard work that is done with doing reviews, learning to edit reviews, finding your own niche within a niche, right? Like talking about watches is already a niche. However, there are plenty of channels that are doing reviews their own way and specifically. So you almost have to find your own style and how you're going to give value to the community, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Even though this is kind of like a rant, I don't know how much value we're going to get on here. I'm going to talk about Venanico. I'm going to talk about my SKX because I just modified that. But let me catch up on the chat. I have an effect on women. Wow. Rated R. Finally, my man, wish you and the family happy. Oh, Chad, man, appreciate you. I wish you and your family happy holidays. We had a fantastic Thanksgiving. It's always nice to stop the mayhem of the money-making machine that you have to be to make a living, to be thankful for what you have in your life. So thank you so much, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, Chad. Today is a Notice RR Sector Deep. So Eric, I'm actually doing a collaboration with Notice. They are collaborating with Watch Crunch. And they actually came out with a collaboration watch. I'm not sure if you're up on that, but it's actually going to be the first Notice watch sent to me for review. I've known of them for a very long time. They've been in the community of Watch Crunch for a very long time. And I'm really excited that they decided to do a collaboration and make an actual watch. Max from Watch Crunch, which is a co-founder of, he does a fantastic job. He actually did a collaboration for the first time with Jack Mason, and we all know how Jack Mason is exquisite. Matter of fact, I no longer call them Jack Mason. I call them Jacques Masson because, as you guys know, they just came out with a Swiss-made movement, right? So they're getting a little fancy now, and I love that. Texas brand, always had fantastic watches, and they get a little bit of an extra leg up because I have a soft spot for the Dr. Pepper, that being my favorite soda of all time. They came out with a limited run, and then they did a white dial colorway, which is going to be something accessible to everybody. So I eventually probably have to grab that. Maybe I could talk to my man Peter and work something out. You know what I'm talking about? Even if it's borrowing the watch, it's worth it because I don't care if it's gifted or if it's a borrowed watch. I care about talking about watches that give you guys value and give you guys a deep dive into it. Now, that watch is probably talked about, but at the same time, I really feel like Jack Mason is worth covering. I really feel like they have a fantastic vibe outside of their watches, but also inside of their watches. And that Gata watch that they just came out with, it's a heavy hitter. Shane from Relative Time, I want to give a shout out to his channel because he actually did a watch review of the Namoki Alpine. And I woke up a couple of mornings ago and I saw that video was released. And I get excited when other people do review. I did a review myself of the Namoki Alpine, which for you guys, it's the Alpinist, the Seiko Alpinist. Namoki did their own version that you guys can build. And I jumped all over that because I wasn't able to get the SARB 017, right? No Cyclops on that, but absolute home run, right? That one fits in almost everybody's collection. It's almost as integrative as the SKX, which I have right next to me. I'm going to show you guys my version. But I jumped all over the opportunity to build that watch and make a review. And I actually also did a comparison review of the Seiko Alpinist and the Namoki Alpine. Shane from Relative Time did also his review of it. So I'm watching the review and he goes, just so you guys know, this is not a in-depth, comprehensive way to build the watch, right? There are other people that have built the watch and explained everything step by step. So I'm like, bet. I get to watch another person who did a review on it. Cool. I'm like, let me finish this video from Shane Relative Time, and then I'm gonna check out the next person that did it. My man shout me out. The actual channel that did the in-depth build review was my channel. So I was like, oh, that is, I'm super appreciative, man. This has been so much to be a community of connecting with collectors, but also connecting with other watch reviewers. He also let me borrow his Zheng Hung, which is also another independent brand spin-off of San Martin. He sent me that watch. I wasn't able to connect the dots with Zheng Hung directly, but he sent me the watch to do the review, man. So he's a cool cat, and I really do appreciate him and everybody else that's been supportive. I'm so far behind chat. I apologize. Let me try and attempt to catch up. Finally, my man, I read that. Today is notice. I read that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oscar's in the building. Longtime supporter. Got the wrench, and he is a secret service for this chat. So be careful what you say because he cleans up pretty nice. Is that a Rolex? My man, I'm glad you said that because to me, this is a Rolex. I showed it before. It's actually a Venanico Nerode Arero. I probably didn't pronounce that right, but Swiss-made movement. A lot of different rare materials that are built into it. So for me, I'm going to be careful now, cuidado. For me, this is a Rolex. For me, this is a Tudor, right? I can't have it in me to spend 10 grand to step into an actual Rolex. I rather invest that money into a Roth 401k, you know, talk about. But, you know, this watch for me is the epitome of luxury because of everything that Venanico puts into their watch, and they're doing that more often. So thank you so much for asking that. Awesome timepiece. Thank you, Chad. Wristful, you already know. Do you research, man? They use fake old movements. Yo, so fake movements, they sued, change it. So not a watch snob. I did see your original video on that. I think that the brand, since you did your homework on them, was revitalized, right? New owners. I may be wrong. I can say that if that's where they started, if that was a thing in the past, it's not a thing right now. I respect the fact that you are trying to give all of the news, but where they are today is what matters to me, right? Where they are currently and what they did maybe the past few years. So if there were some kind of controversy with them, I don't think that they're the same brand, to be honest with you. Let's do some homework on that. But I think that they are completely a different company now, and they are fantastic service. They are fantastic watches, and they are somebody that I personally, well, let's not hit the mic. I personally advocate for. How can you support them? I just answered that. And send their watches to me for a review. Cool Watches Only is in the building. There's so many channels that we're covering today. Cool Watches guy, if you guys haven't seen his reviews and you want to talk about a refreshing channel that does reviews, he is one of the ones I also have to include. A lot of music, a lot of entertainment, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of fast stuff that happens, but keeps your attention and keeps you absolutely captivated. So Cool Watches Only, thank you for stepping in. And I'm sorry, brother, but I can't send you this watch because this is like, I'm so excited about this watch, brother. I'll send you anything else, but this watch I'm gonna have to hold on to. I'm so sorry. They use the Hank movements and all parts. Man, you are after them now to watch snub. Holy, $1,500. Yes. So that is the cost of it after taxes at the end of the day. So this Noire Arero is up there. I think it's 12 and change, closer to 1,300 after taxes. We're talking 1,500. But could it be actually justified? My opinion, I think it is. I think if you're looking for something that is going to give you a luxury feel, this would be the watch to go to. And I am an avid supporter. Hey y'all, not a watch snob. Let's talk a little bit after it, brother. Let's talk a little bit after it. Hey y'all, hope all those who, oh, wifey is in the bill. I'm reading my own wife's chat over here. Hey y'all, hope all those who observe wonderful Thanksgiving. Wifey is in the chat. That Venanico suits the holidays 100%. Sharifa, good. Hi Oscar, let me catch up. Social media, that's all. Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? What's going on? Megazoid, you guys are saying hi. Thank you, bro. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it, man. That's all I could do, right? All I could do is try. Thank you, Chad. Happy seasons. Wifey's in the building. What movement is in the new Trump? I'll be honest with you, Chad. The Trump watches, I did watch videos doing reviews, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't pay much attention to it, right? Like I think you and I both know that wasn't really a watch for a super enthusiast. Whatever that watch was meant to be, probably maybe funds for a campaign, whatever the case may be. We're not gonna go political on this channel. It is a watch, so it's relative. But I have to say that, Chad, I didn't gravitate and I didn't do a deep dive into those watches specifically because, you know, it's not really like an independent brand. It's not really like a watch enthusiast brand, in my own opinion. So I don't even know what movement is in it. It'd be kind of funny if he did a Chinese movement after COVID and how he felt about that. But that's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna move on. Thank you. Your man is the man. I appreciate you. I did see the Watch Crunch collaboration. I only wish that it was larger than a 38. Okay. It's the holidays, man. I have some sangria. So the RR has a 41 millimeter bezel, so it wears larger in my range. So I think it is a 38 millimeter, Eric. But I believe that if you're like visually on a bird's eye view, when we look down at our watch like this, I believe the bezel is actually measuring out to be a 40. So it may give and appear to be a bigger watch than usual. And listen, I'm not just defending it because I'm going to review it and everything else, but what is what is. And it is a pilot style watch. So you know that you're going to get numbers, you know you're going to get features and details that are enlarged. So it's going to feel like a larger watch, but actually specification-wise, dimensions, it is going to be a 38. I'm going to come up on here and show you guys the watch as soon as I get it in. But I believe that the language design is going to feel like a bigger watch, if that makes any sense. And I believe that the bezel, from bezel end to bezel end, is going to measure into a 40. So if you need larger than a 40, yeah, it may not be for you. Chad, the cheap one needs 35, the most expensive, not sure, but it might be a Swiss-made movement. I think that was in regards to the Trump watch. I make room, you can't make room for me. Okay. No, I'm not sure. No, no same owners. So they're not the same owners? Two brothers. It's the exact company. Okay, okay. We'll talk about it, bro. We'll talk about it. Listen, man, you need to report the facts, right? But at the same time, I don't like to come up on and tear any companies down. Because here's the thing. Even when you come up on here and you talk negatively about anything, you're still giving it attention. So if you really are not messing with something, in my own opinion, you just don't mention it. So I'm not going to get on here and go back and forth with you. I got mad love for you and respect. I know you're trying to report the truth, your truth. But at the same time, I'm coming from a perspective, not from a guy who just got a free watch. I'm coming from a perspective as a customer first. I'm coming from a perspective of meeting them in person. I haven't experienced the things that you're saying, so let's save the chat for a little bit later on and let's turn the channel, baby. There's so much to talk about. Trap Vision 3D is in the building. What's up, brother, man? I always love me some Trap. What's going on, bro? Everything is good. Okay, you guys are catching up. I'm back. Okay, so I think I finally caught up on chat. Monk is in the building. Thanksgiving was amazing. Yeah, man. Thanksgiving was great, man. You guys are catching up and chatting on yourselves. Thanksgiving was amazing. Any day above ground is amazing, but any day that you can spend above ground with your family is a blessing. So my Thanksgiving was fantastic. I'm still celebrating with some sangria. I don't know what you guys are sipping on. I don't know what you guys have on the wrist, but I want to show you guys my SKX. So let's get into that. So here's the deal. I got lucky enough to get into the SKX model. We all know that watch. Cult following, fantastic watch. It built its reputation on giving you an actual certified diver specification for an affordable rate. Is that the case today? No. Do we know what happened with that? Yes. SKX Seiko 5 came out. Now, they stepped away from the screw down crown. I believe the water resistance went down. It's just one of those things that unfortunately we sacrifice something on the next iteration, which blows my mind, because for me, it's like when you're coming out with something that's supposed to replace something else, it's supposed to be better, right? So why not have the same specifications and just continue that and everything else? Now, I'm not taking shots at Seiko because I have a lot of respect and love for Seiko. If it wasn't for them, modding would be a disaster. There wouldn't be half the amount of watches that we see, because we all know that independent brands take the Japanese movement that we call Seiko, the NH, whether it be the NH35, NH34, there's a ton of them, NH38, and create your own language design on the actual dials and on everything else. So Seiko will always and forever have my respect, and I put that SKX into my collection for a very good reason. Now, that was very early on into me collecting, so thank God that I didn't have as much knowledge as I know to know the importance of that watch, but I'm damn sure glad that I did. And what I like to do is I like to modify my SKX 009J1 for the Japanese build instead of the, I believe it's Malaysian, for the, what's the other model? SKX 001J for Japanese. I forget what the Malaysian one is, but it doesn't matter. They're solid builds no matter what. So I want to show you guys that because I'm kind of excited, and it changed the aspect of the watch altogether. So let me flip this around. So what I did was I changed out the bezel and I changed out the bezel insert. And I love this. I believe this is called a aluminum resin or something like that. But the idea is that the bezel is actually a little bubbly. It gives like a little bit of a 3D, and it gives you definitely that Blancpain kind of bezel feel. And Blancpain is a company that is well respected, and they have a crazy horological history on them. One of the biggest things that I took away from Blancpain in language design is their bezel inserts. I've always loved that kind of bubble 3D effect on it. So I did change that out on my Seiko. You guys know, some of you that follow know what it looked like before. I think that this one tones it down and makes it more vintage, but also gives that, you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the life ring. I think it's called a life ring, something that you throw into the water if somebody's drowning and they hold on to. That's what it reminds me of. And I love that because that's obviously associated with aquatic themes. And having that bezel, it being a 200-meter resistant watch and actually being certified and everything else, this is the perfect bezel for this watch, and it gave a completely different feel. Now, as some of you know, I am a modifier to the extreme. I would even change the color of a date wheel. I can change a movement. I can change anything to a watch, right? Now, I say that to say this. I have not opened up this watch, aside from changing the case back, which I changed it back to the original one once I became knowledgeable in the fact that a transparent back, right, a see-through back, exhibition, if you will, that gives you more chances of failure on a water resistance, if that makes sense, right? Because if you have an exhibition back, it is a crystal, and therefore there is a gasket around it, but it also offers more points to fail, that being the actual exhibition and where that that case back screws into the case itself. So I'm not doing any diving with the watch, I'll be honest with you. But unlike you guys, right? We always say like, oh, I need 500 meters of water resistance. And the most that somebody takes their watch is when they wash their hands. I'm like that. It just makes me feel warm and fuzzy that if I go out in the rain, nothing's gonna happen with the watch because it's a million meters of water resistance. But it's something to appreciate, much like we appreciate the mechanical movements in a watch, right? We appreciate the watches being mechanical, even though we know that the mechanical movement is inferior to a digital, even a smartwatch. But the fact that we know that the watch is being powered by just metal, right? Essentially, is the nostalgia of the watch. Therefore, it translates to the water resistance. You see what I'm doing here? I'm justifying the reason why us desk divers love high water resistance, as we should. Talking about going into the Seiko 5 not being a screw down crown, I believe, you can correct me, I believe it's 100 meters of water resistance instead of 200 meters of water resistance. For most people, that's still going to hold up for whatever they're doing. But the fact that we would expect that the new iteration from something that's discontinued would be a higher caliber in the specifications and in the movement, which we did get hacking and hand winding in the Seiko 5 versus the Seiko Shake that we have to do for this SKX. Fine, granted, but go all the way. Give us all of the specification increases that we really want. And I absolutely am in love. I'm so glad that I pulled the trigger. Actually, this was a request as a gift from Mom, so shout out to Mom for getting this gift. The SKX is a phenomenal watch. This is the original, well, technically the original is the 013, I believe, but you know, the 009 and the 007 are the ones that are out there the most. And I like this one a little bit more specifically than the 007, which I did want, but it was already outrageous in price. This one was still reasonable when I pulled the trigger. Yes, it was discontinued, but it still wasn't like $500, $600. I think this was $3 and change, and I think the original price was $250. So, of course, on a Jubilee bracelet, because if it ain't Jubilee, then it ain't for me, and that's just the way it's got to be. But love this watch. Will not touch anything on the inside of it. And if you're listening to this and you happen to have an SKX on you and you're thinking about modding it because it is a mod king, don't do it. Why? There are a lot of homage watches for the SKX that you can play around with and switch parts out without sacrificing the original model. Now, I have modified the bezel. I have modified the case back, which honestly, I probably should have left well enough alone. Even exposing the movement for seconds, uh, dust finds its way. So I'm pretty sure I put a couple of dust molecules in here when I changed the case back. I should have left it alone, but I didn't. But I didn't pull out the movement. I didn't change out the hands. I didn't change out the dial. Leave it alone. You can find a homage watch of this. Everybody, almost every Chinese manufacturing makes it, right? Tandorio is one that comes off the brain. In my opinion, the best making it is probably an Islander. So if you do want to do modifications to it, it's exquisite. It's actually my preferred reference if you are getting into mods, but I would definitely do a homage to it to mod. If you get the original, change out the bezel, no problem. You're not messing with any of the insides. You're not compromising any of the movement for dust. And you can have fun with it. Now, I've scratched it. I've scratched the lugs because I was learning how to remove a bezel, but I'm okay with scratches. I'm going to attempt to catch up on chat, but you guys have been firing at all cylinders, and I love it. Bless you guys for chiming in, if you will. All right, let me scroll back. Hang on, give me uno momento. I think I was here. I'm back. Ristful Ignorance is back. Thanksgiving was amazing. Nice to hear that, Trap Vision 3. God bless you and the family, brother. I love what you do here on YouTube. Your lives are... I write notes. So I left a comment for you, Travis, on your last live, and I said that your lives feel like watching a series on Netflix. And I stick to that, man. Like, you have a talent. Thank you for doing what you do here in our niche. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, which is probably impossible at this time, check out Trap Vision 3D, specifically his lives. He does great content as far as his edited long format. But when it comes to lives, man, he is the guru. He's the GOAT. What are you going to do? Give the man his flowers. Got to run. Eric, if you're still here, which you're probably not, I appreciate you popping on, for coming in. Monk is in the building. Monk is another real one. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Watch Geeks from Michael. Watch nerds, baby. That's what we are. How else can we talk so much about it? People who are outside the muggles, if you will, have no idea how we're so fascinated and captivated by this hobby. It is what it is. Thomas is in the building. Big shout out to my man Thomas, man. Thomas and Trap Vision 3D were the first guys on my live to give me a super chat. It ain't about the money, it's about the love and support, man. I really do appreciate you guys for being the first ones. Specifically, Thomas, you beat Travis by a couple of seconds, but it is what it is. Big shout out to you, bro. Ever since you found the channel, you've been a crazy supporter, and you actually were the first person to give me my first super chat, so I do really appreciate you. Risk for Ignorance. Hey, Sharifa, I'm going to be reacting to my Glycine. Glycine, man. Glycine's another fantastic and phenomenal company. Travis, you talk about them a lot. They are owned by Invicta at this point, but they have a lot of heritage. They make a lot of great watches for value. I probably will snipe one of them eventually. Glycine is phenomenal watch company, and I love that you present that to the enthusiast quite often. What's up, Michael? Mrs. Santana is definitely in the building, celebrating. Sis, how are you? Yo, she's a real one, man. I wouldn't be half the content creator I would be without her. By the way, I just saw a co-worker today wearing a Breitling Chrono. Man, that watch is awesome. Well, it's 6K. Yeah, man, Breitling's got amazing watches. And you guys know already by now that, you know, my forte isn't like the high-end brands, but that doesn't mean that I don't know the major players and how they play a role. Breitling being a company of heritage, of aviation, and doing a lot of robustness for their watches. Breitlings are a solid watch, and I feel like Breitling is a watch that you can buy to mark your success that not every single person will know. You get a Rolex to say, Flex City, I made it. And that's okay. You may live in that kind of world, and you may want that kind of reward for your hard work. Who knows? Maybe one day in my, daytime career, when I make it, I might go that route. Rolex being a phenomenal company of heritage and still giving us a lot of things, paving the roads, right? Breitling, there's a bunch of names, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet. Like we all know the big names and the big dogs that pave the roads for these independent brands to even have any traction. However, there's still some traction with them, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Sangria. Let's see, yo, my man, Space. Yes, Space is in the building. Just seeing what crunchers are crunching. Yo, Michael, the crunchers are definitely crunching. And here's the deal. I love being on Watch Crunch because it keeps my finger on the pulse. And a lot of the brand names spanning from affordable brands and up, they were telling me that the watch market has been slowing down dramatically. But here's the deal. If you're on Watch Crunch and you're watching the post, specifically today, I saw a lot of new watch arrivals and I saw a lot of screenshots of tracking packages, which is saying to me that it may have slowed down. There may be some truth to that, but Black Friday is very real, very alive. People are buying watches still to this day, and they're taking advantage of the Black Friday deals. And I can fire off a couple of them for you guys. I'm pretty sure there's almost every independent brand is taking advantage of that season. I specifically got emails from Erebus. I specifically got confirmation from Noctua Watch Corp. We know that Mark from Island Watch is actually putting watches in his Black Friday deal that he hasn't done in the past. So, I mean, listen, there's probably every company that has been established, that being 2 to 3 years plus, is running a Black Friday deal and taking advantage of that. And there's people buying. And we're going to see a lot of new watch arrivals on Watch Crunch, which I love. So that's why I love being plugged into that platform. And you guys on Watch Crunch, I'm going to do a quick shout out, have been the biggest supporters. Not everybody on here that has followed me is from Watch Crunch, but those of you have transferred over and said, what, you doing YouTube? Well, of course I'm going to follow you. You're the guy. You're the guy. So I really do appreciate you guys for transferring over and showing love and showing up to even my lives, which is outrageous to me, but it's so much fun. Just seeing, I read that, so true. Will you do a Swatch Quartz or 51 movement review in the future? The sky's the limit. I do have a Moon Swatch, if we're talking about Swatch. I don't have a Systems 51. I do have a lot of quartz movement, but you specifically asked for Swatch Quartz. Listen, whatever gives you guys value, right? I'm not here doing reviews on what I like. I try and do my research and I try to get feedback from what I see, again, going back to Watch Crunch, to what you guys are gravitating to, and then my reviews reflect on that. Now, Venanico, the one I have on wrist, has popped up and into that atmosphere, because if you guys are seeing and watching other content creators on watches, they're doing a lot of reviews on Venanico. It's a real thing, and they've earned their flowers in my heart from doing their dials and everything else. So that is part of that atmosphere. I'm always actively looking for watch companies that could give you guys values that you guys aren't even talking about. And that's a small hint to a review that I have coming up, so stay tuned. I don't want to even give you guys a hint, because if I give you a hint, you'll probably figure it out, because you guys are watch nerds like me. But what I can say is this going to be the next review that's released? In 2 weeks' time, not the next review, but the following one is going to be a company, an independent brand that's not talked about, not a single review on on YouTube, and it's going to give a lot of you value. So that's all I'm going to say. I want to keep it hush-hush because I want to be the first person to introduce it. But the point being, the goals here, the value, what you get from this channel, why you subscribe, why do you trade your most valuable resource, which is time, is I want to give you guys watch companies that aren't talked about and give you guys in-depth reviews on that, along with everything else that I don't need to rant about. Let's catch up on chat. Nice modded. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. All is well. Hope you and the family are enjoying the holiday season. Yeah, wifey's holding down the fort. #1 moderator, you know. Trying not to buy watches. Michael is trying not to buy watches. That comment is about as useful as a typewriter. You already know, Michael, that the fact that you said trying means that you're probably going to purchase another watch before the year is over, and that's okay because we both have the same problem, and a lot of us on here have the same problem as well. I give you more power for trying and at least stating it out loud. Good luck with that. Trying not to buy. I read that. Check out LC Venanico loomed ceramic bezel inserts for Seiko bezels. I will definitely check that out, Thelonious. However, I just put this bezel onto this SKX009, but I will check that out, and I have to. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if Trap is still, I think he's still in the building. I saw a comment. Trap, let me know. Does this, and I was looking at this, I was staring at it. You know how it is when we change stuff out on our watch. Does this give you a little bit of a squale type of feel with this bezel? I may be off the target, but I think this gives a little squale. And here's how I got to that. The bezel that I have on there before, right? The original one is still smaller and still tight knit, and as you guys know, it's is it red and black? I think it's red and black or red and dark blue. I don't know. But I decided to put that to the side because I wanted to preserve the bezel, that being the part of the watch that beats up the most. And I normally like scratches on my watches, but this is the SKX009. So I thought it would be fun if the rest of the watch, this is how crazy I think. I think it would be fun if the rest of the watch had scratches, but the bezel was pristine. That'll throw somebody for the loop. I think that, in my opinion, and you would know better than I haven't owned the squale before, but it gives me a squale feel in that the bezel is more reserved, a little bit more vintage style here. I know that they do a lot of loud colors, but I'm talking more so for dimensions. I'm talking about more so for the actual fit for it. So let me know. Thelonious, thank you for the heads up on those bezels and bezel inserts. I will definitely check them out. I'm always looking for modding parts. Very difficult when you like watches too much, right? Yeah, exactly, Oscar. Very, very difficult. He's saying it out loud to hope for it coming into fruition. But when you love watches, man, it's a rap city. Family is doing well. My granddaughter gets mesmerized when your hubby gets on the screen. No way, bro. She's a darling. Your granddaughter is an absolute gem. She knows excellence when she sees it. Yo, my head is not going to fit on screen. I need you to stop now. Yes, LCB is great. You're vetting the sapphire bezels. Guys, appreciate the heads up, man. Trap, if you're still in here, can you screenshot Michael's comment on Michael's and Thelonious's comment on the bezels and bezel inserts? I would love to check those out. They're one of the OGs in Seiko. I will check it out. All K's said Goofy. All right. Wistful Ignorance, Michael, we got a crunch-filled day today. Now we have Mr. Santana live. After, you can check out my video for the day. Later, Trap Vision. Yeah, so Wistful Ignorance, like I said earlier, man, he is on a mission. He is a maven of Invicta. He's a maven of, what's the other one? Aragon. I'm super excited, man. The next 6 to 8 months, Simon, is going to be beautiful to watch you flourish. I'm just going to say that. Right on. I'll check it out. Absolutely. Trap, your granddaughter has great taste. I believe I've seen her in the live. Yeah, you have. You have. So Trap's granddaughter, man, she's like, Granddad, I don't care if you're live. Show me attention now. I love her. She's a sweetheart. I don't need that much water resistance. I take my divers swimming, but 16 feet is exactly. I think the deepest so far that I've taken my divers was a swimming pool. So is it necessary? Now, I wanted to talk about this. Thank you so much, Trap. And I give you guys everything. I think that when I put this bezel on, the metal piece and the insert, I think that I know that I didn't check if it had the gasket on the inside. When I make mistakes, I want you guys to learn. There is a gasket inside of this bezel, yeah? It sits underneath the bezel. It just adds a little bit more water resistance to it. I'm not sure if I put that on there. However, I'm very confident that the stress testing that I will be doing for this watch is not going to matter. That being said, I got to show respect to the SKX 009, and I have to pop this off and put that gasket underneath there just to make sure. So I don't stress test it, and I'm not a diver. Maybe one day I will do some diving. Maybe this would be the one. Or I might do the Seiko Arnie. You guys know the Seiko Arnie. Fantastic watch. Now, 200 meters, but it has a lot more compromise. That being the digital watch, digital and analog hybrid, lovely. Fits wrist a lot more than you think it would. It has like the specifications that feel like it's larger, but wears smaller. Actual diver. If I was going diving, if I was taking the wife and I was like, hey, let's go on a diver excursion, just make sure there's no sharks. And there was some actual meters of water resistance that I was looking for, I probably would take the Seiko Arnie over the SKX. Why? Discontinued versus something that I could still purchase is one. Number two, yes, it has more points of failure, but as long as you make sure that all of those crowns are screwed down, not only the crown that changes the time, but also the ones that actual function, the light and everything else, you're good to go. So it's another solid watch. Food for thought. I don't need, yeah, I read that. Most know me as, okay, got you, Mike, got you, Michael. I gave you another nickname, Mike. Haha, Trap 3D. Facts, the average person doesn't go, yeah, exactly. We're like, my watch has 300 meters of water resistance, minimum. Well, what do you do with your watches that have aquatic necessity? I wash my hands with my watch on. At best, maybe you shower with the watches, which is something I never do because water vapor is different. You know what I mean? Water vapor is a different kind of molecule, at least in my paranoia. So I'm probably never going to shower with a watch. Plus, for me, it's like where the watch is sitting probably needs a nice little scrub too. Just saying. Let me catch up. Meteorite, Godness Trap. Yo, Trap Vision 3D, you are no longer allowed to show that Zenea meteorite dial. Just letting you know, I have like whiplash, just somebody saying meteorite dial, and I do say that out of pure hate and genuine envy for the fact that that watch by Zenea is fantastic, and I'm jealous of it. So when I say don't show it, I mean really continue showing it. But I'm a hater. Love that watch, bro. That one and the what's the other watch that you show all the time? Independent brand. Can't think of the name. When it comes to me, I'll tell you. Yeah, I can't think of it. Steel Dive. Steel Dive is a great. Yes, Steel Dive is. There's so many companies that you can go for the SKX. Steel Dive being one of the best ones. The thing I don't. Hold on. Cool watches only. The thing I don't on the Seiko 5 is they cost a lot, at least here in Spain, and the $40. I think it comes to sapphire crystal, sold in their links and clasps, screw down crown. Hold on, man. Let me put that together. I think I don't know on SK5 that they cost a lot. I guess you're trying to see like the justification for the cost for value where you're at. Listen, man. Straight up and down, I talked about the SKX. I talked about the Seiko 5 in comparison. I'm not hating on it, man. It's still a beautiful watch. I'm only giving you my honest opinion on the fact that if you're going to come out with another reiteration of the watch, it should be better in every aspect. Just saying. And that is definitely not only for Seiko. That happens a lot. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'll do another one that you guys love. Casio, the Casio, oh man, it'll come to me. I'll get back to it. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Of course. Cool watches, no lies. Let me catch up on chat. Thomas. Did anyone buy a Studio Underdog with the window that closed last Sunday? So Thomas, I'll tell you what, man, I did pick up from Richard one of his QR codes. I don't know how long that is actually active for. I am past the amount of spending that I could do for timepieces. However, I do want his in-person only pizza watch. So I'm not privy to the one you're talking about. I'm not sure if that's the Moser collaboration. I'm not sure if that's somebody else, but I definitely want that in-person only watch. I don't know if the QR code expires. I hope that it doesn't, and I hope that when I'm able to grab it, I can. All right. Email messages with the intervals of the SKX is like modding my vintage, saying it's fine because I didn't change the name on the dial. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. Thomas led the way. Yeah, sketchy people. Sketchy people wear Breitling, bro. I bought the Glycine Combat Sub. I hear that one talked about the most, Thomas. The Glycine Combat Sub in bronze a couple of years ago. Best place to buy was Ashford the third. Thank you for the knowledge, man. I appreciate you. I definitely will check. I will scope them out when the time is right, according to, yep, sketchy dudes wear Breitlinks. Where you guys, do me a favor. With the sketchy dudes wear Breitling. Where are you guys pulling that information from? Where you guys, doesn't my guy, oh man, who's the most famous person on YouTube talking watches? What's his name? Bro, I'm drawing a blank. Teddy Baldazar. He represents Breitling, man. So what are you saying about Teddy? Oh yeah, he represents Breitling. What's going on? Sketchy people wear Breitling. That's the first time I heard that. That's funny. I saw the side times Black Friday Islander sales. Yeah, Trap. I love what Islander is doing. Islander watches are. Let me be careful. Okay, here's the deal. Islander watches are an investment. Stay with me. Don't tune out. Islander, if you purchase his watch and you go to the show, he will give you a $50 credit. The first, I think it's 50 people, $50, 50 people. And then he gives you an additional discount to the next watch. So when it comes to a independent brand that you're stepping into, he makes a great watch. It's definitely worth it. And Trap, you're the man, bro. I don't know. You're updates for my Islander watch. As you guys know, I purchased the ISL 245, which is a Port Jefferson Miota 9075 True Traveler GMT watch. As a modder, couldn't leave well enough alone. Now, the bezel insert to that watch, nothing wrong with it. I wanted something with more color, because if you guys know that watch, it has orange, blue, different tones in it. Beautiful. White for the canvas of it, right? The bezel was black. It's illumined. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't listen to me. If you buy that watch, don't change the bezel insert. And here's why. That bezel insert is custom. I've tried to remove the bezel itself, which is my own transgressions, and that's another subject. But even after not being able to remove the bezel insert, it's not like the SKX models where you just apply pressure and it pop goes the weasel. That one, actually, you have to remove parts to get it off. That's not the point of what I'm bringing it up for. What I am saying is, if you are saying to yourself you want to add more color into that bezel insert, here's the deal. That bezel insert is very custom. It's not something that you can purchase on AliExpress and change out real quick. It's not something that you can Google search and find people who sell SKX or what's the other model number? SKX, and then I think this is an SSK. Those bezel inserts, the one that he puts on his models, are a custom dimensions. So some of you have been asking me for an update on that. Where I have landed, I actually touched base with my man JP, which is a phenomenal watch modder, and he has more experience than I do. And he let me in on a company that does custom sized bezel inserts. So I contacted that company. I gave them all of the dimensions. I'm praying to the watch gods that I actually measured that correctly, and the measurements that I gave the person that makes custom bezels sends that to me correctly. So for anybody who was looking for an update on the bezel insert to my Islander, I found somebody that can give me custom measurements. He actually gave me custom colors, and he's actually sending me that in the mail. So hopefully that is correct, and then I can finally do the review video for that watch. So if you are looking to customize, I'm gonna say this again, service announcement, the ISL 245 or any of the Port Jeffersons that are relative to it, and you wanna change the bezel insert, contact me first. I'll give you guys the contact to change that out. All right, Black Friday Islanders, yes. Black Friday you just made. I was thinking of an Islander GMT to mod. Michael, I just gave you a gem, Michael. If you're looking for a Islander GMT to mod, 187 bucks, I just gave you a gem. Hit me up on Watch Crunch, direct message me. I could give you more information. It is not the easiest watch to mod. If you want my recommendation on a watch, and I think Mark himself would vouch for this. And he sells NH34s. So if you're looking for a GMT watch that you want to modify, you might want to check out Mark from Island Watches GMT watches that are NH34s, but I would even still contact them directly to make sure that all of the parts are transferable. Just, you know, word of advice, just saying. Haven't checked out Trap. Oscar, haven't checked Trap 3D, are they good prices? Yeah, the Islander deal, Oscar, if you're talking about, are fantastic. And he's putting models on there that he's never put on there before. And I think that Squale is a very, if you watch Trap Vision 3D, you want a Squale by now. This guy, let me tell you, guy, he talks about me being an influencer to buy watches. You know, that's like the pot calling the kettle black, right? Like, he puts up his watches. He comes with a 50 slot box. He's like, this watch is this watch is that, one of which is Squale, which Islander also has on a great sale, I believe. And I think the watch is normally $1,300. It's going for $1,100, and he's including the metal bracelet with it. So check it out. Definitely go on Islander's website. Shameless plug, or rather, grateful plug. I don't know. Whatever you call it. Over 1,000 subs now. Yeah, Mega, over 1,000 subs. When I started this, I thought maybe, I said, okay, I love watches too much. I have to talk about it. You know what I'm talking about? And I was like, maybe 100 people will watch me rant about watches. And then here we are, 1,000 watches. And I think that has to do with not only you guys being the hero and the supporters, but also other content creators like Trap Vision 3D, who's spending his valuable time on here instead of editing a video or planning out another live or writing down some notes. I've seen you with the book, my man. I know you told me to bring my notes. This is a random rant. I have no notes here today, and I'm doing pretty good, I think. But I've been blessed to be connected with a lot of people, him being probably one of the biggest ones to be a big bro for me. And here we are, 1,000 subs. So I guess the next target is 10,000, man. But you know what? It's not quantity, it's quality. You know what I mean? I know it sounds scripted, but that's the truth. Either take it or you don't, Oscar. They have a Squale, $4.99. Ooh, a Squale for $4.99? That needs to be sold out today. If wasn't for Watch Crunch, I don't think I would have grown so. Exactly. Restful Ignorance, Simon B. Exactly. What up, y'all? Noctua Watches is in the building. My man JP, you know I had to shout out your Black Friday watch sale. And I didn't mention this before. JP don't stop. He's still working. He gave a sneak peek, and I think it was only on Watch Crunch where he posted it. He is working on an NH34 model to come out, and if you thought his watches were rugged before, sheesh. Check it out, man. That's all I got to say. Thomas with the super chat. You probably, Thomas, super chat that 20 minutes ago and was like, I'm never spending the dime with this guy again. This guy goes on rants. Happy Thanksgiving, brother Skylar. Thank you, bro. Blessings. Blessings to you and the family. All of the Santana crew. Ah, man. Check out MD Watches from Ireland. The cheapest and funnest regulated watch. Oh man, Trap! If you're in here, please screenshot that. Thomas, put that in the replay as well. I can't I have the memory of a squirrel. I will definitely check them out, man. Trap, screenshot that if you don't mind. Send that to me. I definitely want to check them out. But Thomas, man, you are a real one with the $5 Euro super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Not too long. Hey, I'm trying. I'm trying. Hey, try and fail. JP's in the building. Exactly. I see Squale. I'm just trying to catch up to the chats, guy. I appreciate you. And Squale, as far as the dimensions, got you, bro. I guess, Trap, I guess you were saying got you, bro, from the screenshots that I said 30 minutes ago. Great. Oh, hold on. Sent you a DM. All right, cool, Thelonious. Thank you. Sent you a DM with the URL on what. Appreciate you. Great prices. Oscar. Yep. Seiko 5 Sport. Screw down crown. Wait, Seiko 5 Sport gets a lot of hate because of it doesn't have the screw down crown. I can attest, those watches are solid. I want to see the complainers actually swim down. Yeah, man, I know this, man. But the thing is this, bro. Here's the deal, and this is only my opinion. I don't want the Seiko 5 is a phenomenal watch. I'm only talking in the respect of being a watch nerd. And watch nerds want to see improvements, regardless if we're going to use the watch for its purposes. That's all I'm saying. Am I going to need another 100 more meters of water resistance? No. Should that stop me from getting a Seiko 5 instead of getting a whole bunch of the homage watches? No. Why? Because the watch is going to do what it's supposed to do, and Seiko needs its flowers for everything that they've given us. So I agree and I disagree, I guess, at the same time. It depends on the person purchasing it and what they value more. Yeah, fair enough. Water resistance is just another spec flex. Exactly. And Noctua, here's the deal, JP. Does it not come down to a flex, spec flex at the end of the day? Because here's the deal. Once you get a whole bunch of NH35s with whatever meters, whatever the specifications are, the only thing left for you to do is get something you don't have. And once you have language design that matches what you already have, then all that's left is for you to go for the specs. At least that's my experience for right now. And that's the only way that I can. Now, with that being said, if there's something else about the watch that I appreciate that I feel needs to be put into my collection, am I going to not buy that watch because of the water resistance? No, stop it. Stop it. I'm definitely going to put that watch in my collection. Water resistant, I love Thelonious. I love the SKX005. And you should love the SKX SSK005. You should love it. Anything that Seiko makes, to be honest with you, is a good watch. And I have a bunch of Seiko watches, guys. So don't think for a minute. I'm just being real. Skylar, you may have to come to DC in the spring and get your pizza watch. Man, oh man, ain't nobody got time for that, bro. They gonna have to mail it to me. Check out the channel, Watches of Espionage, bro. Copy. Dope channel. Thank you. I mean, oh, you're talking about, yeah, okay. I'll check out the channel, JP. You beat me to it. Yeah, great minds. Man, Trap, I need you again, bro. Watches of Espionage, I need you to... let me try to catch up on chat. Where we at? Where we at? Knock 201. Okay. It's hard to go through chat and realize who's talking and who, but when you guys put the ad, it helps. For sure. And I'm back. Eric is back in the building. John, Islander booth at Chicago Windup is summer offered some of his best products for the cost of any independent micro brand. At the entire show, they also had a couple of great Q&A workshops as well. That's dope, man. So I didn't know that. So here's what happened in New York, John. The Islander booth was mobbed from beginning to end. So you can't even say it's like, well, he has the $50 reimbursement that he's going to give and everything else. His booth, I had to fight a couple of people in New York to get up to his booth because I was interested to pull an Islander into my collection because I love and I respect what Mark has done for the market from the beginning, which is he saw the SKX, He saw what Seiko did, and he said, I could do a little better. And he did, my opinion. And I think that's how he started off. But from there, he's gone to Miyota. I don't know if does Mark have a Swiss-made movement yet? He definitely offers Swiss-made watches in his shop. I don't think that is specifically for, where's my water? I don't think that's specifically for his Islander watch. So either way, no matter how you want to slice it, he makes a good quality watch. And it has now a good range from a Seiko, what is it, 21,600 beats versus 2880, I think. Maybe my numbers are wrong, but he offers a lot. And what he does is he solidifies and infuses his enthusiasm for watches and realizes where he could fill in holes. Point being, the first watch he came out, he was like, and I know he has respect for Seiko. I think he has a phenomenal relationship with them. But he said, I can do the SKX in these specifications that I know the nerds are going to eat up. And we did. So, and I made a video early on talking about that, as a matter of fact. So it is what it is. Can't wait to see the new insert, Skylar. For the Islander, yes. So, bro, here's the deal, man. So we'll talk later. We'll talk later. JP's reaction, let's run 25. Did anyone else see or buy the new KO? That's another company, Thelonious, that I'm very interested. I see them a lot. There's so many brands, there's so little time. I see them come up a lot, Thelonious. I definitely want to eventually see what the deal is. Any chance that anyone here will be going to Vancouver Timepiece show in April? Yeah, so guys, Noctua Watches is already incorporating his brand into getting into watch shows. The man is working hard. He's probably asking that question because he is going to be attending that. So if you guys are going to be in that area in Vancouver Timepiece show in April, you most likely will be able to meet that phenomenal individual. Thanks, bro. Traffic 3D. I'm taking notes. And stop it, you're taking notes. That's so true, Skylar. A bunch of subscribers who don't watch or interact don't help much. Yeah, it is what it is, man. You know, some people, listen, some people don't want to interact, but they want to just take their pen to pad. And that's cool. No problem. Pasquale, $4.99. Is the deal of the year. Yeah, bro. Man, if I wasn't past my limit, man, and I know my wife is in chat, so I can't go up in here and say I'm gonna grab that. But yo, a Squale, Swiss made, lots of heritage, fantastic builds. I mean, the list goes on. If you can get that for $500, you just robbed the bank. Period. I am heading towards Venanico. Now I might be getting, I am heading towards Venanico now. I might be getting either a Squale or Tissot. So Oscar, are you on the fence? Is that what you're telling me? Like you're leaning towards Venanico, but you're either getting a Squale or a Tissot. You can't lose, bro. All of those names, you can't lose. Honestly, I love Venanico. I would love to give them their flowers and say that that's the absolute company you have to go with. I'm wearing one right now. But Squale or Tissot, man, buy what you love what you buy, and purchase what you're gonna wear. Hello, JP. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Wifey's in the chat. Wow, we are well past the hour, guys. I'm gonna try to catch up on chat, and I have to wrap it up. But Oscar, nice, and I have a chrono. Paying for the dial brace. Okay. I'll be reading chat even when you guys are talking to each other. I forget that I'm live and I want to see what you guys are saying in between each other. Hello, Mr. Santana. Thank you. Yep. I agree, but this is one of the rare times where I'm not working on content and I get to enjoy YouTube with the favorite content creation watch enthusiast. Much love, bro. Yo. My head's not going to be able to fit on screen, bro. Stop it. No, I get it, man. I get it. I watch YouTube as much as I love to create content. Um, I love seeing your guys' perspective. Trap, what you do on lives is phenomenal. And man, I just kick back and relax. Absolutely. Remember, there is not perfection, Monk. 100%, Oscar. Well said. I mean, listen, I feel like a lot of experience collectors know that there's no such thing as a perfect watch. If you guys think that because I was gifted this Nerode Arero that it's only going to be positives and there's going to be no improvements listed, you must be out your mind, because there's no such thing as a perfect watch. And even if I get gifted a watch, even if I love a watch, there is always going to be room for an improvement, and that is doing nothing but justice for the company that you're reviewing. You have to, as a reviewer, understand that there is improvements to every watch. Maybe they want to do those improvements. Now, keep in mind, if you watch a review on a watch and you're like, man, I seen 5 reviewers do that improvement and the company still hasn't done it. Why? Sometimes the company doesn't want to do what you perceive as an improvement. What do I mean? Acrylic versus sapphire. We all know flowers for acrylic for the light reflection. Flowers for the sapphire for not being as scratch prone, right? But sometimes the creator of that watch says, I want to use acrylic crystal, period, because I like them better. They have a warmer feeling. They give more of a vintage vibe. They do better on light reflection. That's what I want to use. So keep in mind that there's no such thing as perfect, not only because we have different opinions about what makes a watch better, but also because the creator doesn't necessarily want to go after an improvement for scratches rather than for a vibe. How do I know that? Talking to owners, drilled lugs. Some watches don't, some watch creators don't do drilled lugs because they want to keep the continuity to the side of the lug, AKA the side of the case. They feel like the hole on the lug disrupts the beauty of the finishing. And that's when I learned that that's not always the case. Now, anybody would say that, well, a drilled lug is better because if you do have to use a tool, you're less likely to scratch the lug on the inside, yeah? But realize that the owner, the creator, has different things in mind, right? And there's certain things that are not up for argument on an opinion, because some things are facts for an improvement, but some things are not. So I keep that in mind, and as I learn and I gain knowledge on what is a general improvement and what is a stylistic expression, I try to keep that incorporated, and I try to keep more of a objective point of view, if you will. Remember the word, Oscar. Let me try to catch up on chat. Vincent H is in the building. What's going on, bro? Skylar is the best. So enthusiastic and passionate about the hobby. A joy to watch. Thomas, man, thank you, man. I truly am up on here because of my enthusiasm. I realize that me hitting record means that I have to give value. It's not enough to be enthusiastic. It's nice. You can vibe. You feel the energy. It keeps you locked in. You don't get bored. But value is probably the most important part. And this is not probably the best example because this was more of a rant. I don't have a bunch of statistics in front of me. I don't have a notebook. But as we talk and as we engage and as you guys bring things up, I put my 2 cents, and hopefully that's enough value for your most respected asset, time. JP, let me try to catch up on chat. Guys, I'm feeling you guys on the chat, and I don't want to end it, but I am well past the time, and I'm going to have, okay, so I almost caught up on chat already. Here we go. Hang on, let me go back. Good afternoon, Robert Wood. Yes, sir. Robert Wood is in the building, a real OG. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, Robert Wood. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, man. I thank you for tuning in. I am very appreciative of you joining in. JP must be a smart, you must be a smart married man. What did JP say? I have to go back. I have to go back and find out. You know you running late when the missus jumps in and she is so polite, that passive aggressive polite. Like, yeah, babe, you're doing a great job. You've done a great job for quite some time now. Yeah, I got to get out of here. I got to run home. Um, Robert Wood, thank you so much, brother, for coming in and listening to me rant. Howdy, Trap Vision 3D. Robert Wood, okay. Styler. That's a way to say my name. You're on point, Trap. My brother is the man. This presentation to the Watch family are great and following in his footsteps. Yes, sir. I'm giving you a double salute. Hey, yo, JP, I can't with you. JP's the man. Yo, JP, real quick. I'm not just saying this because I'm on live. She loved your watch, bro. And listen to me. Listen to me. If Mad Watch Collector didn't hold down that segment of his reviews where he goes, now let's hear what the watch had to say, right? I would definitely add that in because my wife has something to say about what goes in my collection. But she looked at your watch, bro, and she was like, yeah, I like that one. I said, what did you just say? What did you just say? She's just like, I like that one. I'm like, you like this one? She's like, I like that one. I was like, you know JP built this one, right? She's like, yeah? I was like, yeah. I like it. So, extra flowers for you, my guy. Working on Rob Wood's impression for my video voiceovers. I was thinking about doing impressions, but nah, I don't know how every person's going to take it. I would love for it to just to be like, you know, haha, that was funny, but I'm gonna leave that one alone. It's kind of like politics. Love you guys. Yeah, love you, bro. Great weekend in space. His voice is like butter. Stop it. You guys are funny, man. I can't. you guys are funny. Styling Santana. Yo, I have so many nicknames. I've got the Professor. I've got Styling Santana now. I love it, man. You guys are you guys are the best. Thanks for being on today. Thank you, Eric, for tuning in, man. We are going to close out in about a minute. So if you guys have anything you want to ask me, let me know. He's not lying. I loved it. Yeah, appreciate you, baby. I've been doing my vocal exercise. What is giving more of a Kermit the Frog and not Robert Wood? That's great. Yeah, Robert Wood, you could tell Robert Wood was a radio voice. He's just got that voice, man. It's just like drinking like a glass of Henny. You know what I mean? The learning professional. That is probably going to be the one that goes down in history, man. I'm always going to be the learning professional. I will never come on here and act like I know everything. I never want to pretend like I want to know everything. In fact, I never want to learn everything. I want to always have something to learn because that's what keeps this hobby so interesting. Aside from obviously connecting to you people, it's not about the watches, and I had an example of that. I immediately, 9 Studio, connected with the owner before even knowing his first name. Why? Because of watches, baby. We just started the talking. I just started the connection with him. And then he goes, he goes, about 10 paragraphs later, he goes, by the way, my name is AJ. It's like, I don't even need to know your name to connect. And if it wasn't for those connections, these things would just be trinkets. Stand by that, man. It all started with the watch. I did not invent that. That came from my man Trap Vision 3D. I did adopt that, but I have my own sign off, and we're going to sign off right now, which is I appreciate you guys for spending your most valuable asset, which is time. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Peace.